All right, guys, welcome into my official NFL wildcard playoff predictions where I go through every single wildcard game and predict the winner. And we've got 6 games to get to, starting with the Seattle Seahawks sneaking into the playoffs with the Packers losing on the road in San Francisco. This is an NFC West battle. You've got San Francisco listed -10 right now. Brock Purdy, their defense, their overall roster is so talented. They are on a major run, and they've got a lot of momentum. And guys, when it comes to this game, I do like San Francisco to overwhelm Seattle, and I also like the under. There's been a few games like this. I don't know if you guys know the trends. So this game will be played at 1:30 Pacific time in San Francisco. They've had a few, like, obviously with Kyle Shanahan, they've been in the playoffs a few times. They've had a few of these early games, and they always seem to go under when San Francisco is the home team. So I think Geno Smith, that Seattle offense, they've been surprising. Geno's had such a great year, but San Francisco is overwhelming. Brock Purdy is good enough. We keep waiting for him to fall off. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. It's not happening. Maybe it does later in the playoffs, but in a situation like this where San Francisco has such a talent advantage, especially if their defense gets a turnover on Geno early in the game, I think it's going to snowball, and I think San Francisco is going to ball control this game to death and easily beat Seattle and advance on to the divisional round. So I have San Francisco winning this game, covering the 10, and I do like the under. I believe the over-under might be 43. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it's lower, but either way, I like the under because I think Geno Smith and that offense on the road, it's a very tough matchup. And San Francisco, we've been waiting for the blow-up bad game from Brock Purdy. It simply hasn't happened. Nick Bosa is the defensive player of the year. He's going to get his 1 or 2 sacks and kill a drive and really help San Francisco win that game. Moving on to the Saturday night game, this is a battle of the young quarterbacks. It's Justin Herbert traveling to Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars coming off that, kind of close, lower scoring win at home against Tennessee, facing Josh Dobbs, kind of getting lucky a little bit. This game at home against a LA Chargers team, guys, I am really high on the Chargers. I'm kind of getting that Cincinnati last year vibe to them. I don't think they reached the Super Bowl, but I think they've got a few upsets in them. This technically would not be an upset. There's a lot of money right now coming in on the Chargers to win this game outright, and I do agree with the general public. I think it's a surprisingly low-scoring game. I like the under 47.5. And I like the Chargers to win this game and cover the spread. Jacksonville concerned me even by beating Tennessee. Their offense was not good. They were facing a battered and banged up Titans team. I will take, the Chargers, even with the question marks surrounding Mike Williams. They've still got legitimate other weapons. Justin Herbert, it seems like it's his time to break through and really have a few good playoff performances. And the other thing that I think people are writing off or not talking about enough, you get Joey Bosa back. And now possibly you've got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on that defensive line. No one's talking about it. The Jaguars, going to be a close game, but I think Justin Herbert, a little bit more experience, even though he is on the road. Going to Jacksonville, nothing against their home field advantage, but it's not the best. And you've got a warm weather team traveling to Florida. They like that. They're playing in nice weather. I'm sure it's going to be 60 degrees or whatever, maybe 55 degrees on Saturday night. Kind of an interesting fact about this game, Jacksonville, back-to-back Saturday night games. Last week they played at 8:15 on Saturday night. This week they play at 8:15 on Saturday night, and I do have the Chargers coming in and knocking Jacksonville out of the playoffs in the wild card round. Moving on to the Sunday triple header. First, we have probably the worst game of the weekend in terms of overall competitiveness. You have the Miami Dolphins without Tua Tagovailoa. The NFL's just simply not going to let him play at this point with the head injuries this year. He is out for the year as far as I'm concerned. They're traveling on the road at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills getting that win over the Patriots, the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. I think the Bills are an absolute juggernaut, and I like them to cover this 10-point spread and win this game 30-14 against either Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson. Last week, Skylar Thompson not inspiring too much confidence by winning that game 11-6 or whatever it was against the Jets. It's a tough situation for Miami with being without Tua. It is what it is. Sometimes it happens in playoff games, especially in the wild card round. I do not think this is going to be a competitive game at all. Buffalo should get up relatively early and completely control this game. This game reminds me of a lot of the 5 or 6 years ago when Miami traveled to Pittsburgh, another cold weather game, and Pittsburgh just easily crushed Matt Moore and the Miami Dolphins. So it's a tough situation, but I will take Buffalo. A lot of people like the over 43.5 in this game. I personally don't love it just because I don't trust Miami's offense enough to score. But I do like Buffalo to cover the 10.5 or 11, depending on what sportsbook you look. Overall spread there. Next, we've got the New York Giants traveling to Minnesota. And the funny story with this game, so everyone kind of maps out all of their upset picks and all of the favorites can't win and things like that. So this has become the #1 biggest upset that everyone is picking, and it makes complete sense. Minnesota is the perfect team to get upset. They've won all these close games, the walk-off field goals, the 33-0 comeback against a horrible Colts team. They can't keep doing it. Guys, I just think everyone is against Minnesota. They're actually going to find a way to win this game, maybe on a walk-off field goal. I have Minnesota. I just think Minnesota is more talented than the Giants. The Giants are certainly a team that they stay in games. That's what they do a really good job of. But honestly, Minnesota with Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, to me is better than Daniel Jones, although it's kind of close because Daniel Jones does have the running ability, but Minnesota's at home, guys. I don't see it for the Giants. I understand they're going to keep this game close. It's going to come down to the end, but I will say I think Minnesota's got one more walk-off field goal in them. I think they got one more in them, and everyone seems to be picking the Giants. It feels like a trap to me. I will go with Minnesota to win this game. Really not a fan of Minnesota minus the 3, but I do like the over in this one there. Next, we have Baltimore traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati listed 6.5-point favorites. There's question marks. It's looking like Lamar Jackson is going to be playing in this game, and it's very critical because Lamar Jackson has that contract issue. He's going to want to play in this game and play well, possibly going into the offseason if they do lose to Cincinnati. But one of the things I always go back to when talking about Baltimore, I think they've got the most underrated defense in the NFL, and I think Baltimore's defense is going to keep them in this game. This is an 8:15 Sunday night cold weather game. I will take the under, and I will take Baltimore plus the 6.5. I do have Cincinnati and Joe Burrow winning it because I am not going to speculate on Baltimore's quarterback situation and just how healthy Lamar Jackson actually is, but I do think Baltimore plus the 6.5 with J.K. Dobbins back, and again, with potentially Lamar Jackson being very motivated to play along with a good defense and a Cincinnati team who really didn't do a ton last week. They did beat Baltimore. This is a rematch, although it's really not because Baltimore rested a lot of their players. You know, it is what it is last week. So I think Baltimore keeps this game close. It's very hard in the NFL to beat a team back-to-back weeks. And to me, Cincinnati wins this game. But if Lamar Jackson is healthy, I could see a potential upset. But I am going Cincinnati with Baltimore covering the spread. And then moving on to the Monday night game, it is the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. And this is another one. Everyone is picking Tampa Bay to cover the 3-point spread, to upset Dallas. Dak looked horrible last week. He's thrown 3 picks in the last 6 weeks. All the narratives are out. that Dallas is done, that Tampa Bay is, Tom Brady, they've played better later on in the season. Guys, to be honest, I'm against the general public here. I don't see it. I think the Dallas Cowboys have more talent. I think people are overrating Tampa Bay due to the Tom Brady legacy situation, and we know how good he is. I just think Dallas is better, and people are overblowing their loss to the Commanders. They really weren't trying. They knew midway through the first quarter that they were not going to get the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed because San Francisco and Philadelphia were both winning. I understand Dak Prescott has not been good, but I think he shows up for this game, and I do think Dak is a good quarterback. I have faith in him, and I think the Dallas Cowboys win this game. So really, guys, honestly, I do have, I guess you could say, no upset picks. I think all of the favorites win. I don't think they all cover, but it's just one of those things where I see people picking Tampa Bay, and I'm seeing blind spots. I'm seeing narratives like Tampa Bay's played so well in the second half. Well, not really. If you look at the stats, they've had a few good games that, Tom Brady was great against Carolina. But other than that, I don't know, guys. Tampa Bay is really one-dimensional. They still have injuries. And I just think Dallas, even with their bad performance last week, if you look at the advanced analytics, they love the Cowboys. They blow teams out. They've got an explosive offense. I love Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb. And I really think Dallas is going to win this game on the road. Personally, that's just, my pick overall, Dallas minus the 3, and probably the over, but I'd have to look at the over-under before talking about that. So that is the Monday night game. So we have a Saturday 4:15 game, a Saturday 8:30 primetime game, or I think it's 8:15. I think it's 4:30, 8:15, and then Sunday is 1 o'clock, 4:30, 8:15, and then Monday is 8:15. So there's 6 games total. And that is the overall schedule when it comes to the wild card round. But I hope everyone enjoys the NFL playoffs kicking off here. We should get some great games for sure. A lot of close games. I think the San Francisco game is going to be bad. I think the Buffalo game is going to be bad. But the other 4 games all theoretically should be close games. But it is the NFL, so we'll probably get 1 or 2 blowouts. Either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, The Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.